Okay, hi. I just played my week 4 tournament set for ADV seasonal. And wow. I did not play that well. So I think this is gonna be a great video analyzing just analyzing how you can make better plays, right? Especially in the face of hacks, because a lot of that did happen both ways in these games. Yeah, because it's easy to blame your losses on like unlucky things happening, right? But there's generally always a better play or a better sequence you could have gone for, right? And that's what I'm trying to focus on in this video. So how I want to format this video is first we're gonna watch the replay. Like I'm not gonna analyze it too deeply, and then I'm gonna go over my team at the end of the replay, and then we're gonna go back to the start and analyze it from there. That's the idea. Okay. So this is game 1. All right, let's go. My opponent leads Tyranitar, I lead Celebi. I hard switch Celebi out, which ends up getting Pursuit Trapped, which is super bad for me, as I bring in Swampert as my rock resist. Salamence comes in, I hit it with Hydro Pump here. Yeah, Hydro Pump connects, does 23%, which indicates it's not very bulky. Fortress comes in on the Ice Beam, which I also have. Here Fortress gets a free spike up as I Hydro Pump it to limit how many spikes it can get up. And here, what comes out? I go into my Magneton in an attempt to trap the Fortress as Jirachi comes in, and I get to throw off a Thunder Wave into the defensive Jirachi as it is revealed. Yeah. I go back into Swampert here on either Fire Punch or Body Slam, because this is my best switch-in. And then I just throw off a Hydro Pump trying to catch the 40 Ments and Jirachi together, and then they miss Toxic, which is a very big turn for me. I Earthquake here, Jirachi's extremely weak at 25% and gets fully paired, so I avoided 2 Toxic turns on my Swampert, which is very significant. And then Salamence comes in. Hydro Pump again, trying to catch either 40 or Ments coming in, because I know Jirachi's not going to stay in. And then, yeah. So here I'm willing to trade my Swampert's HP in favor of an Ice Beam. Yeah, because Salamence is going to annoy my team, and I want that thing gone. Tyranitar comes back in, it's a 50-50 between Crunch and Pursuit. And I'm able to win the 50-50 as I go into my Tyranitar on Crunch. My Tyranitar reveals no item, so it's either Lum or Choice Band, as I throw off a Thunder Wave into the Pursuitar, as the Pursuitar reveals Counter. I Ice Beam into the Swampert, and I'm willing to trade down with the Swampert as I go for a Crunch into the Swampert, which will bring it very low, because my Tar is faster than the Swampert. Yeah, Tyranitar dies here, and I believe here I go into Metagross here to pick it off with an Adamant Speedy Earthquake. As Fortress just comes back in, Fortress will not be 2KO'd by this Earthquake. Yeah, so here I go into my Magneton to finalize the trap here. As a counter comes out, yeah. I'm able to pick it off with Hidden Power Fire here, as Blissey comes in. I am a Toxic Magneton, so I am able to throw the Toxic off into the Blissey as it goes for a Calm Mind, and because of the Toxic, the Blissey cannot stay in forever. Magneton doesn't really serve too much of a purpose because it's not like it has HP Grass for the Swampert, so I just sack it here to Ice Beam. I bring in Swampert in now to 1v1 the Blissey with Earthquake. Blissey soft-boiled first, and then I throw off an Earthquake, and then after Sand Chip and Toxic Chip, this will be a 2 KO. At this point, Earthquake claims a kill here versus my opponent. Yeah, we lived the Ice Beam. We would not have lived Ice Beam in the previous turn, which is pretty significant. We'll go over that in the analysis. And then here, the Swampert is faster, picks me up with Ice Beam, which is significant. I bring in my Metagross here, thinking that I will pick up the KO here. Unfortunately, I don't, and I get hit by really devastating crit Torrent boosted Surf, which impacts my Metagross's ability to sweep this endgame, but I am able to get rid of the Swampert. Tyranitar comes in. I know this can counter me, but I'm willing to... I don't mash it because I want to guarantee the hit so that my Gyarados can kill this with Earthquake. Yeah. And then Gyarados clicks Earthquake here, kills the T-Tar, and it's down to last mon Jirachi. As here, they protect on my Earthquake, I believe. Yeah, protect on Earthquake here. So then I didn't use the damage calc here, so in my head I still kill here. But they live Earthquake, and they're able to throw off a Wish. And then here we're just going to go back and forth between Toxic, Protect, Wish, and I'm just going to Dragon Dance here, expecting a Protect. opponent makes an amazing play here in Toxics. That play was so good. Because that's their only win con at this point, right? They have to Toxic my Gyarados and then win from there. Here I'm just going to spam Earthquake. Because now this endgame is going to come down to whether I can outplay the Protects and Wishes or not. Paralysis helps that, of course. Another Wish comes up here. My Earthquake did 63 last turn, so if I let this Wish come up, they will live the next one, so I have to Dragon Dance here. As the Wish comes out and heals Jirachi back up to 72, 71. So then now it comes down to the double Protect, because I will die to Toxic this turn, and my opponent does not get it, and I'm able to barely scrape out a win. If you were watching that, I hope it's very obvious to you that I misplayed a fuck ton this game. Yeah, there is a lot that could have gone wrong. That I did do wrong, and that it should have gone worse, right? But, let's just go over the team real quick. My Celebi is Swords Dance, Baton Pass, Hidden Power Rock, Leech Seed. So we were playing at, like, late at night for me, so then for some godforsaken reason, I don't click Baton Pass with Celebi, and I get Pursuit Trapped by the Tyranitar, which prevents me from ever Swords Dance passing to my Metagross or my Jolly Dragon Dance Gyarados. So, in the team builder, right, I had two choices whether to lead Celebi or Metagross. I was thinking, or even Tyranitar, right, because Tyranitar or Metagross are more standard leads, so like, I was originally going to lead off with one of them, right, but it's like, I thought, okay, whoa, that's not what I'm gonna do. Like, okay, if I lead with Celebi, then, if I lead off with Celebi into, like, a Zapdos, for example, right, then I can, or even a Metagross, right, like, I can SD pass into, I can immediately SD pass into my Metagross or my Gyarados, right, and that's, like, huge for me, right, so it's, like, very high risk, high reward here, and it didn't pay off, right, here, but, like, even then, I could have Baton passed turn 1, I'm so stupid for that. So yeah, in the team builder I messed up, and on the very first turn I messed up. I'm gonna refresh this. I'm gonna refresh the page real quick so that the spikes actually load. And now let's analyze the game. Oh yeah, wait, let's skip to the end real quick. My Tyranitar is Pursue as well because my team hates Gengar, especially Celebi. I have Swampert as my main. Rock Resist because my Metagross is Agility, and then I have Magneton with Hidden Power Fire. So that's my team. Let's go all the way back here. Alright, so Tyranitar on Celebi lead. This Tyranitar can be any set, but it's threatening either Hidden Power Bug here, or it's threatening Crunch, Pursuit, Ice Beam, or Fire Blast, right? I have Baton Pass, like I just said. I'm just just stupid. I didn't... I'm so ashamed of that play. But yeah, because my Celebi instantly gets chunked by Pursuit that turn, I'm no longer able to go for I'm no longer able to go for a SD pass play unless something like a Milotic is on my opponent's team. So already I'm basically down him on turn 1. Wow, dude, I don't even have anything to say about that. That's so terrible. But because they revealed Pursuit, I know they're a specially invested tar, right? So this could be an HP Grass coming into Swampert. One play I could have made is going into Metagross to scout for a HP Grass, but I don't think that's worth it because if they decide that they want to trade tar down for my Swampert, then my Metagross just takes a Crunch for free, and that's very terrible, so I don't want to do that. So here I'm willing to, I'm like, okay, I do have Metagross as a backup Rock Check, so I think I'm fine with them going, because I'm Quiet Nature Swampert, right? No, I'm Relaxed Nature Swampert. So if they just throw off a Hidden Power Grass, it'll put me into Torrent range, and I'll just kill them with Hydro Pump. That was my thought process here. As Salamence comes in here, oh my gosh, the sound's on, shoot. Yeah, Salamence comes in here. So the damage tells me that this is not a bulky, like, Wish Salamence, right? All I can tell is that it's likely mixed based on leftovers, but the presence of Pursuit Tar could also mean that this is a physical offense team. But the thing is, like, Salamence coming hard makes me believe that this isn't a Dragon Dance Salamence, because if it was DD, then you would want to preserve HP on it a bit more. So my gut tells me this is a, my gut is telling me that this is a mixed Tyranitar with HP Grass. So then, even now, right, I'm thinking, like, okay, I can live in HP Grass, and I do want that gone, so that I have an SD pass team, right, but I can't even pull off SD anymore, so I don't want the Salamence being able to intimidate my Gyarados' Dragon Dances, so I want the Salamence gone. I don't think any of my I think my opening plays besides the obvious turn 1 Celebi choke, I think my opening plays here are fine. So now in comes Fortress. I do have a Magneton with HP Fire, but because I'm not Charcoal, I can't O-code this from full. So instead I go for a Hydro Pump here to put it into range of my Hidden Power Fire now. Spike goes up. Wow, the spikes aren't loading. Hold on, let me refresh again. Let's go back. Okay, Spike goes up as I go hard into Magneton here, as my opponent goes into their defensive Jirachi. So my Magneton is a very slow, bulky Magneton that's supposed to live a Hidden Power Ground from Skarmory, right? So I know I can take a defensive Fire Punch. My idea here was based on the presence of a Pursuit Tar and a Fortress, right? I'm thinking, okay, this is likely a very, I'm thinking this is a defensive Jirachi, right? Because you want that Rock Resist. Yeah, that's what I was thinking here, and because this team would not have a Super Rachi, right? So I'm like, this is totally defensive, or it's like Wish or something, right? It's not going to be an offensive Fire Punch Jirachi. That's what I'm thinking. And I'm like, okay, because I can't pull off the SD pass with my Celebi anymore, I want to paralyze this thing so that potentially my Swampert or my Metagross or my Gyarados can kill this with Earthquake without having to set up, you know? Because I can't, I literally can't set up. So I think my Thunder Wave here was really well measured. I'm able to read the team structure, and I'm able to pull off the para, which is good. Here I go into Swampert because this is my only real switch into Fire Punch. Yeah. Now here, there's, I go for Hydro Pump here because in my head, Hydro Pump covers for Jirachi staying in, Hydro Pump covers for Salamence coming in, and Hydro Pump covers for Fortress coming in, right? That was my thought process here. But honestly, I think, like, because you saw in the first replay, right? Like, I'm willing to trade my Swampert's HP for, to get rid of Salamence, right? So, Earthquake there was honestly fine, right? Because Earthquake still covers Jirachi staying in, Earthquake covers for Fortress coming in, and if Earthquake comes out in Immense, that's fine, because I can still Ice Beam it again afterwards, because I was willing to make that trade in the first place. So I think, although this is something where it's like the value of each Pokemon, like, changes every turn, right? Where it's like if something bad happened to my Swampert here, I would be like if I got like crit or something, right, I would be less willing to stay in on these Salamence. So I guess like, because I was thinking in my head, like, the Jirachi's paralyzed, you shouldn't stay in, you should want to keep this as, because like if it gets fully paired here versus the Swampert, right, your Jirachi's just dead, right? Like, you have more chances to accomplish something by bringing in Jirachi later on, you know? That's what I was thinking. That's why I went for Pump. I don't think Pump was a bad play, but I think Earthquake was fine as well. I dodged Toxic, which is very significant, because the thing is, normally these are Body Slam, Fire Punch, and I was totally okay with eating a Body Slam, but, like, Toxic also makes sense in this team, right, because, like, the three revealeds besides Jirachi don't benefit really from Paralysis, right, so, like, Toxic Jirachi actually makes sense, and I probably should have read into that a bit more, but yeah, I go for Earthquake, my opponent gets fully paralyzed, which is obviously huge for me, because now my Swampert doesn't get Toxic at all, and Salamence comes in here. Hydro Pump was a safe play there, but another play I could have made was hard Ice Beam, right? Because you're not going to bring in Fortress on another Hydro Pump or Earthquake, right? And then, so Salamence obviously switches into both, right? So a play I could have made there is, okay, you're not going to sack Jirachi here, but also, like, it's a 32% paralyzed Jirachi. You could just sack it, right? It's like, once again, I don't think Pump was a bad play, but Ice Beam was a play I could have made that turn, because I think you keep Jirachi, and the only unrevealed that you have that takes both Pump and EQ is Salamence. But also, I think Salamence is a pretty risky play here as well. But, like, fine, you know. Besides the turn 1 play, I don't think I'm playing too terribly here, but I am playing a bit passive besides that Thunder Wave on Jirachi. But yeah, I trade my 70% of my Swampert HP in exchange for the kill on Salamence to make my Gyarados more threatening in the endgame. Now the Pursuit Tar is in on my Swampert. Obviously, because of my moves, Hydro, Ice Beam, Earthquake, it's obvious that I'm a minus Speed Nature Swampert because I only took 70% from the HP Grass, which means I'm not Rash Nature. So the Pursuit Tar here has a 50-50 between whether it pursuits and kills me as I try to switch out, or if it crunches me as I stay in. My thought process here was like, okay, my Swampert's slower, so then they're more incentivized to crunch here to just pick me off in case they, like, try to greed and stay in, right? Because if I greed and stay in, your Pursuit puts me into Torrent range and then you just lose your whole Tyranitar for no reason. So that's why I hard switch out. It is a 50-50 though, really. And then I go into my Tyranitar here, and because my Tyranitar does not reveal leftovers, This could be either a Lump Dragon Dance or a Choice Band Tyranitar, right? And either way, this Tyranitar is going to be threatened, but it won't be one-hit KO'd, right? You'll see why this is significant. I go for Thunder Wave here because I want to catch whatever wants to come in here. Because, like, if you bring in, like, another Rock Resist, like, Swampert Harden on, like, Earthquake or something, that's pretty bad, because then that opens up my, my team a lot more, especially my Metagross, right? So then they would go for a really great counter there, right? Because counter covers for just an Earthquake from my Tar, it covers for a Brick Break on, like, a mixed Lumtar, and it covers for a Choice Band Earthquake, because you also live that. I think counter was a pretty good play there. Now, you'll see here from Pursuit, Crunch, Counter, this is, and there's no Magneton on my opponent's team so far, so this is almost guaranteed to be Pursuit, Crunch, Counter, Fire Blast. Yeah. Here I go for Ice Beam because that's my strongest move into the Tyranitar as Swampert comes in. Here I'm willing to trade my T-Tar HP for, I'm down to trade my T-Tar in exchange for the Swampert, because if I Crunch Spam the Swampert down into low HP, then my Metagross goes crazy, right? Because you see here, Fortress is getting weak, this can get trapped, Jirachi dies to Earthquake, Tyranitar can die to a Meteor Mash after a little bit of chip, right? So I crunch down the Swampert in exchange to let my Metagross go crazy, which I think is a good trade. I think this is well thought out by me. I bring in Metagross now because I'm guaranteed to get something out of this. I Earthquake on Fortress here, and now I could Earthquake twice here and just get the kill, but I don't want to risk taking Earthquake damage, so I go into Fortress here, which also covers for another Spike, and it covers for Explosion. So the reason why I made this play is even if my Magneton gets parried, right? Even if my Magneton gets Earthquaked, then I can go into Swampert after, which will put, with the Spike up, this my Swampert will be put into Torrent boosted Hydro Pump range, which will claim a kill here. Everything dies to Torrent boosted Hydro Pump on my opponent's team, except for the Unrevealed, which is Blissey now that we know. But right now I'm thinking, okay, if I get EQ'd here, now Swampert becomes a threat here because I take the Spike and I'm in Torrent range. That's my idea here. So no matter what, this is a win-win. And because it's a counter, I'm able to live and I get the hidden power off as Blissey comes in. Because, yeah. I'm not, oh right, the Swampert's weak, right. So yeah, Blissey comes in, and very fortunately for me, this is a Calm Mind Blissey, and I have Toxic on Magneton. So Blissey, which could have been a threat if it was Ice Beam Fire Blast, for example, right? Which is like, you should have a move to hit Suicune with, but it's like, you might not if you're wanting something terrible Blissey with Ice and Fire, right? You either want Thunderbolt or Seismic Toss to deal with Suicune. But here I go into Swampert because this is a safe measure, right? Because I'm like, okay, Swampert's weak. It's not going to clean up this endgame as... I mean... You know what? Swampert actually could have cleaned up this endgame, right? Because I kill the Swampert with something else. And then I have Torrent boosted Hydro Pump for T-Tar, and I have Earthquake for Rod. You know what? Swampert could have cleaned this endgame up, actually, so I probably shouldn't have traded it out here. But another play I could have made was sack Celebi to get up a Leech Seed on the Blissey. And then this way, my Swampert is able to actually live this +1 Ice Beam, as you'll see here. Because my opponent goes for Soft Boiled first here, which is... I'm not sure why that happened. But the reason why I went for Earthquake there is because even though I know I likely die to an Ice Beam here, then if they commit to killing me with Ice Beam that turn, then I can bring in my Metagross, and then I can start fishing for Mash Boosts, and if I get one Mash Boost, I just win the game. Yeah, that was my idea. So here I live Ice Beam. This is why Leech Seed was objectively better here, right? Because one, if I Leech Seeded the Blissey first, then it's guaranteed that I live the Ice Beam on turn 20. Oh wait, no. I lived the Ice Beam on turn 22, which is when Blissey went for Soft Boiled instead of Ice Beam. So I would have guaranteed lived that with Leech Seed, and I would have been at like, what, 24% higher with my Swampert than it would have been normally, right? Which is very huge. Well, not even 24, probably more than that, because Blissey has so much HP. Yeah. But here, I traded my Swampert for Blissey, which isn't a bad trade. I think Celebi first was better, though. The opponent's Swampert comes in. I don't know if this was a speed tie, because they could have also been, minus speed nature. But because they didn't reveal Protect, and because they go for Surf on my Metagross, honestly, Surf might even do more than Earthquake, so maybe they just didn't want to click Earthquake there. So this could have been a speed tie, or it could have been like Surf, Ice Beam, Toxic, and like either Roar or Refresh. That's also another thing I could have seen on the Swampert, because there's no Protect here, right? I go for Earthquake thinking that it'll kill, but it doesn't, and my opponent crits me with Surf here. Another correct play I could have made here is Celebi, Leech Seed the Swampert, die, and then I can go into Metagross, right? afterwards. And then with the Leech Seed chip, I'm able to actually kill the Swampert guaranteed. It's like, I had 2 chances to go to Celebi so that I could win these interactions without trading 1 for 1 essentially, right? And it's like, I chose to not take those opportunities because 1, it's late, I'm tired, but it's like, that's no excuse, right? Like, I still have to be trying my best. But yeah, I'm able to pick up the EQ kill here, which is fine, because now I get an EQ off on either the paralyzed T-Tar or the paralyzed Jirachi, which is good for me, right? I go for Earthquake here because I know Meteor Mash won't kill this T-Tar still, and then my Gyarados in the back has Earthquake, so I don't want to miss Meteor Mash and then have this be like a Thunderbolt Tyranitar, right? And then I just lose the game to that. Yeah, so I do that, and I bring in Gyarados here to kill this T-Tar with Earthquake. Yeah. And now, in comes Jirachi. So in my head here, I did not use the damage calc for this. Like, you can see there's so many instances in this game where, like, the damage calc would have saved me. This is like a lesson to, like, always use the damage calc, you know? Like, it's important. But it's late, I'm tired, I feel like clicking buttons, and this is why this whole endgame sequence happens. So, my opponent goes for Protect here, I go for Earthquake. I believe the right play here was always Celebi, right? Because Celebi with Leech Seed not only negates the Jirachi leftovers, but it also gives my Gyarados healing, which slows down the effects of Toxic, right? But also, another play I could have made there is, if I use the damage calc and realize that, okay, after 1 round of leftovers, then my Gyarados won't kill, then I should have gone for Dragon Dance instantly, which punishes Protect, and it also punishes Wish, right? And it punishes Toxic, right? Like, it's so frustrating, right? Because if I made either the Celebi Leech Seed play, or if I DD'd turn 1 with Gyarados, both plays won me the game here, but because I didn't calc and I just mashed buttons, then I just clicked Earthquake, and that forces this endgame to come down to a double Protect 50-50 here, which is really terrible, right? Because if my opponent lands this 50-50, then they just win, and I can't switch my Gyarados out because now Gyarados no longer kills this Jirachi. Like, this endgame should have been a lot cleaner if I just used Celebi to, like, Leech Seed either one of Blissey, Swampert, or Jirachi, but I just chose not to, which is terrible. But yeah, that's just, like, there's so many ways I could have played this better, right? I think my overall pathing was okay, but it's like, the turn 1 play with Celebi was just brain dead because I have Baton Pass, and the thing with Baton Pass and Pursuit is that Baton Pass makes you immune to Pursuit, and then the Pokemon you switch into will take that weak 40 base power Pursuit. And then after that, it just like Celebi, Leech Seeding, any of these guys would have been chill. The crit on Metagross mattered in the sense that, like, honestly, no, it didn't really matter, did it? The crit literally didn't matter. I just choked and didn't use Leech Seed with Celebi, right? Like, I'm not happy with how I played this one, but we won, so, you know, it's whatever. And there's something to learn from here. So yeah, that's game 1. Okay, game 2, same deal. Let's watch the replay and then I'll analyze it afterwards. Let's go. Okay, hold on, let me turn the sound off real quick. Alright, there we go, let's go. Opponent leads Zapdos, I lead Haruyama. This is a free knockoff for me. Knock off the Zapdos, which is nice, and then here I pivot out into my Celebi, because Celebi resists almost everything Zapdos can do here. Here I hard switch into T-Tar, because I want to see if there's like a Blissey and punish that, and it also covers for scouting the Drill Peck or Hidden Power Ice. So now T-Tar is in, and I just throw out a Rock Slide to be safe. As Metagross comes in, this is reveal lefties on both Mons. I go into Starmie here on the Mash, you know, defensive water, that kind of thing. And then here I just throw out a Thunder Wave onto the Metagross as they just explode. I bring in my defensive Jirachi here as my opponent brings in Salamence. I feel very comfortable throwing out a Body Slam here because there's no set that can kill me, even with if it's like Bandit or Earthquake, you know, I'm still chill at that. So I paralyze the Salamence first try, which is very lucky, very fortunate. And then I go into Salamence here because that negates the attack boost and covers for Earthquake. And now here I'm with my own Salamence, I'm threatening a Rock Slide here. So what do I double into T-Tar, which is really cool. And this also covers for the Salamence just staying in and going for a Rock Slide. Here my opponent makes a really insane play and stays in versus my T-Tar, which is sickening. But yeah, they catch my sub, and then they go into Swampert as I just Rock Slide again. I just got completely outplayed that sequence, which is like, that's tough, you know? As Celebi comes in on the Swampert Ice Beam, gets potentially 2KO'd here, but my opponent has to fear the Giga Drain on my Celebi potentially, so they hard switch out into Salamence to scout for it. as I just go for Recover, trying to hope that Ice Beam is like a roll or something, you know? I do have an HP Grass on my Celebi, it's just like, I didn't click it there. Maybe I should have, I don't know. Was that a misplay? I'll have to calc that after we're done watching this. But yeah, I Leech Seed the Ments here, I go back into my T-Tar to cover for the HP Flying, yep. And now I get Lefties plus Leech Seed recovery, which is really nice, because I want my T-Tar to throw off more subs later on. Swampert comes back in as I sub, and I want to get damage on this Swampert, because Swampert's really annoying for my team. Yeah, so I Focus Punch here, and then I deal 46% to Swampert, so this is a very offensive Swampert, which makes sense, because they have a Metagross as well, you know? So it's likely these are both offensive spreads. Swampert throws out a Pump, Celebi dodges, that's pretty negligible here. I think I just HP Grass here. No, I Leech Seed, that's good, that's good, that's good. And now Zapdos is being worn down by not just Leech, but Sand as well, because the leftovers are knocked. Zapdos Toxics here, and here I'm thinking, okay, let's just trade down with the Zapdos here. Yeah. So then I click Psychic again here. I eat a T-Ball and 2 rounds of Toxic, which is... In my head, I didn't think this was that bad. But yeah, I hard switch out into Hariyama here, trying to catch a Rock Slide, as my opponent goes hard into Suicune. And here I'm like, okay, I'll just knock this off. And then that's not a problem. My opponent is sub Suicune. And then I'm like, oh, that's terrible. Because my team is really weak to Suicune now that Starmie is dead. So here I Focus Punch, which I fortunately do have, which will one-shot the Suicune sub. But now it's like, now what, you know? I can't have Suicune going for another sub here, so I just Brick Break. And now I bring in Celebi, which I feel confident is faster than Sub Suicune, right? And here I Leech Seed because I should live in Ice Beam, but my opponent crits me, which is like, now I just lose. I bring in defensive Jirachi here to hopefully try and paralyze this Suicune. Because if it subs, then it's getting worn down by Leech Seed a bit more, right? But I paralyze the Swampert here, and I'm like, I have to stay in here because nothing can switch in. And my opponent freezes me with Ice Beam, and I'm like, oh my god. So now this game is basically over, right? Because they go T-Tar, and now I can't respond to this T-Tar because this is a Dragon Dance T-Tar. If my Jirachi wasn't paralyzed, if my Jirachi wasn't frozen, then I could have thrown off 2 Body Slams here, and I could have potentially parried twice in a row, right? Because I will eat a +1, Earthquake, right? Because I'm really bulky Jirachi. But no, my Ments had a chance to live there as well, but it's not like I had Brick Break or anything, so it didn't matter as well. But it's just like, dude, fucking crit my Celebi into fucking freeze my Jirachi? Like, come on, that's so, oh my god. So after this game, I'm just like, I was just staring at my screen like, what the fuck? But it's like I think I just, no, I wasn't even out of it after my Celebi got crit, right? Jirachi with Body Slam could have still won this game, right? Because, like, what? The Salamence was paralyzed, the Suicune was weak, the T-Tar I just needed to paralyze twice in a row, and the Swampert was paralyzed, right? Like, I totally could have won this with just Jirachi alone. But it's like, of course I got frozen instantly, which is like, fuck, I guess. But yeah, let's get a team. Hariyama, this is Knockoff, Focus Punch, Brick Break. I have a Recover, Leech, Psychic, HP Grass Celebi. This is a sub T-Tar with Rock Slide, Focus Punch, HP Bug because my team is pretty weak to Celebi. This is just a standard defensive Stormy with Surf, Recover, Rapid Spin, T-Wave. Standard defensive Jirachi, Body Slam, Fire Punch, Wish, Protect. And this is a defensive Wish Ments, which is pretty standard on these kinds of teams. Yeah, okay, so let's go all the way back because I think there are some things I could have done better. Yeah, okay. All the way back to first turn. Yeah, okay. Wait, replay here? Okay, let's go. Okay, so Hariyama on Zapdos. Okay, so I don't regret the turn 1. I don't regret this play. I don't regret the turn 1 knockoff, right? Because even if I was to, let me think. Even when I eat the T-Bolt here, I'm able to knock off, and Sand is not up yet, right? So I am recovering some HP here. Yeah, so I don't regret this play at all. I think Celebi here is also correct here. Yeah, so far I think my turns are correct here. Giving up HP on Yama is a little scary because I need Yama to be able to check the opposing T-Tar, which is a little tough here. This turn, I think Rock Slide was relatively safe. I don't want to give HP on T-Tar immediately, and I want to reveal the Rock Resist. Metagross in. Okay, Starmie here, right? So I know there's a very high chance that my opponent could boom here, right? Was there a better boom target on my team? The thing is, like, I don't know if my opponent has, like, a fighting type that I need Salamence for, right? It's like, Starmie is really nice, of course, right? And I feel like, I felt like Skarmory would have come out on my Celebi potentially, right? So it's like, I don't know, because I don't want to, I can't have my Hariyama and my, every Pokemon besides Salamence takes spikes, right? So I can't do that. I don't know. Like, I don't know if there's a way I could have played around Boom here, because I needed all of my guys alive, right? Maybe I could have sacked T-Tar. Maybe I could have sacked T-Tar. But also, like, they could have just Earthquaked this turn, right? Because Earthquake is pretty safe. And then it's like, well, what do I do now? Because this Metagross is likely faster than my T-Tar, you know? Like, I don't know if there's a way I could have played around Boom here. I think it's just a tough turn overall. I don't think sucking Starmie was a game-losing play. I don't think this was that bad. I mean, it's not great, but it's not bad. Jirachi comes in here. I think Body Slam here was always correct. Yeah. Body Slam here was definitely the play. I get the Para, which is good, and then I pivot into my own Mence, which is a pretty perfect pivot, right? Because there's no way you Rock Slide versus Hariyama, T-Tar, Celebi, Jirachi, you know? Yeah. You know what? One play could have... Oh my god, wait. Dude. Okay, oh my god. A play I could have made there was... Like, it doesn't make that much sense to stand with Mence, right? So a play I could have made there was Wish with my own Mence, just to scout for what they do, right? And then I can go T-Tar Harden after that, right? Because they might HP Flying to try and catch the Yama Wish, right? So then T-Tar, if I Wish into T-Tar, right, my Mence is still relatively healthy because I am very Fizz Def, so I don't think I get 2-8. I don't think I even get 2 KO'd by that Salamence Rock Slide, right, at neutral. And then I can Wish past the T-Tar, dude, and then my T-Tar's at full, so it's better at just dealing with things in general. Ah, that's so annoying. Yeah, that Earthquake there was an insane play, dude. I could have just Rock Slided again, like, what then? And then now they go Swampert. It's like... I don't think the sequence is bad. It's just like, I think I should have Wished with Mence there, right? Wish with Mence gives me more out of that turn, because it's not like you saw the end, right? Like, my Mence didn't even do that much. And then, if there's a fighting type, I'm still, like, at, like, half, right? And then I have the Intimidate, so I'm still decent at taking on the fighting types. Salamence comes back in. I'm a very bulky Celebi, so I know I can take at least one of these Hidden Power Flyings, so I just throw a Leech Seed here. Yeah. And then now I feel pretty comfortable going into T-Tar, like I said, because this is only going to be HP Flying. If this is Dragon Dance, the T-Tar covers both Dragon Dance and HP Flying. And with Leech Seed, I'm healing off even if it Earthquakes or something, you know? This is, I sub here again, right? Yeah, I sub here to cover for Swampert coming in, because I want guaranteed damage on Swampert. I don't know if this was I don't think this was a bad play, because T-Tar's HP isn't that great into, like, the Suicune or the DD-Tar. So I think this was fine. I go into Celebi here on a Pump Miss that's very negligible. I Leech Seed here. Okay, now Celebi on Zapdos. This is... okay. So you saw there in the Suicune interaction that I got crit by Ice Beam, right? If you go to the damage calc here, hold up. Celebi... And then, I'm just max HP, right? And then, the Suicune... Let's assume this is, like, the standard subset, right? If this is standard sub Ice Beam, at +1 Ice Beam, at 65% HP, which is how much I was at, right? This is a, what is it? Wait, was I at 65 HP actually? Hold up, let me see. Whoa, wrong game. Yeah. So I ate the Toxic here. So in my head, I was fine treating this out, right? In my head, this was fine. Because I'm like, okay, Celebi matches up really well into the Salamence, matches up well into the Swampert, right? So I'm like, okay, taking this much chip isn't bad, right? However, I am at 65% HP, right? And then that means that, what is it? If we go back to the damage calc here, now my Celebi is in range of this, Suicune Ice Beam, right? It's an 18.8% chance to kill. But, like, I was still in range of this potentially, right? So the crit potentially did not matter. And that's like, I think the correct play there was to just go T-Tar, because obviously they have a Swampert and then 2 Unrevealeds, right, which could also potentially handle T-Tar. So it's like, maybe my T-Tar wasn't that useful, so I should have gone T-Tar. Because like, they could have also HP iced me there with Zapdos, right? And it's like, that still weakens down my Celebi. So I think I shouldn't have given up so much HP on Celebi for no reason, right? Because there might be something I needed Celebi for defensively, right? And in comes the Tyranitar as I go into Hariyama, and oh my god, dude, I regret this so much. I regret this so much, right? I don't think I could have squeezed in a Wish past to Yama, right? Because the only Wish chances I really got were, actually, wait, let me scroll up real quick. Was there ever a chance where I could have Wished? Jirachi Body Slam. Yeah, no, I don't think there was ever a chance, right? Because when I Body Slammed the Salamence, which is the only turn Jirachi got in, the Salamence is at +1, right? Yeah, no, and then, like, I can't bring Jirachi out on Zapdos, I can't bring it out, because it could get Thunder Wave, right? I can't bring it out on Metagross, or Swampert, or T-Tar, right? So I don't think there's ever a chance where I could have wished past to Hariyama with Jirachi, and I couldn't have wished past with Mence to Hariyama, because then the Salamence could just HP fly my Yama, which is bad. Yeah, this turn was tough though. I don't regret going for knockoff. I think it's very hard for me to have anticipated the sub there. That's tough. But here, like, it's just so unfortunate, right? Like, I Focus Punch here, I have to, right? And then from here, it's like, because here's the deal, right? I can't go Salamence because my Salamence is very slow. And then, actually, how fast is Salamence? Actually, let me see here. Suicune. Salamence. If we're 0 speed Salamence, how do we outspeed? Oh my god! I could have outsped the Suicune? Oh my god. Oh my god, no! The play there was, my Salamence outspeeds Sub-Suicune by 1 point, I think. And then I can Toxic the Suicune because I have Toxic on the Salamence. And then I Toxic the Suicune. Oh my god. Are you serious right now? Dude, the play was, okay. The play was, okay, it's still tough, right? Because if the Suicune subs as I bring in Mence, I just lose, right? So, it's like, I always have to Focus Punch here or Brick Break or something to break the sub, right? That's always what I have to do here. If I went hard Mence there, I think I just won the interaction immediately, right? But if I go Mence here, right? If I go Mence here, then I can Toxic the Suicune, but as it subs, right? As the Suicune subs, or it just kills me with Ice Beam, right? And once I get the Toxic off, then I can just, because it's Surf, right? Then I can just Wish Stall it out with Jirachi. Dude! And then I don't have to risk Celebi HP. That's so... Oh my god. And then if I Wish with Jirachi, then I can Wish past to Celebi as the Swampert comes in to threaten my Jirachi. Oh my god. Oh, that's so... Now I regret playing this so late at night, because, like, I had, like, not so many outs, but there were ways I could have played around this better, right? And even then, my line, the way I played this wasn't even bad, right? I had an 18% chance to die to this interaction, right? But I got crit, so it's like, now there's no chance, you know? And then even then, I still could have won on the spot. I pair the Swampert as they go into Tyranitar here. I can just pair the T-Tar twice, and then I'm still in a fine spot, right? But they fucking Ice Beam freeze me, and I'm like, shit, okay, I guess I just lose now, because now I have no way of stopping the T-Tar. It's like, I had lines out of it, but like, I think the hacks just made it like unwinnable, you know? Like, I don't think I could have played around if this thing happened in every like line I played, right? It's like, I had to find an opening to Wish to Hariyama somehow, but my opponent played well to where, like, that was never doable, you know? Like, that's just tough. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I could have ever won that if, like, my Jirachi got frozen and my Celebi got crit like that. Because, like, Toxic with Mens is a nice idea, but I still risk crits on Jirachi. I still risk crits on both Jirachi and Celebi. I still risk freeze from Ice Beam on Suicune and Swampert. Like, I don't think I could have ever avoided the possibility of crits and freezes in this endgame, you know? So it's like, I don't think I played as well as I could have. Hariyama was really important in this endgame, so I feel like I should have maybe slowed down my early game, right? I think I played maybe a bit too fast early game, and then I should have had an opening to Wish to Hariyama, but it's also like, that's tough. I don't know. I don't think I misplayed this game as heavily as the first one, but I also positioned well in the first one. I don't know if I positioned that well in this game. Like, I didn't misplay as much in this one, but it's also like, I just didn't play that well in general. Like, I don't know. I'm not sure what I could have done differently. Toxic this weekend is a nice idea, but that going hard Salamence first risks the sub on Suicune. And then, so like, I always have to sack Hariyama there to break the sub, right? Because if I go Salamence on the Suicune sub, then I just guaranteed lose. Man, this was a tough game. Yeah, I don't know what I could have done. Like, even with the hacks, I mean, if I didn't get hacks at all, I could have still won this, right? Because I just pair the T-Tar twice. The first Body Slam breaks the Lum, I live the Earthquake, the second one breaks, the second one paralyzes T-Tar, right? And then I can potentially win with my own Tyranitar, you know? I don't know. This game was just tough. Okay, game 3, let's go. Okay, game 3. So at this point it's really late at night, right? Because like this is game 3, we've been playing for a while. And it's like, after last game, I was just beyond tilted. I was so mad, like, I don't even know, right? Like, because I'm tired and now I'm pissed. So it's like, my decision making is really awful now. And like, my brain isn't working as well as it should be. I mean, I've kind of played the last 2 games especially the first game, that was really bad. But now it's like, oh god, we have to go to a game 3 now, like this, and I'm like, shit, okay. Alright, so let's just let it play now. That's just the background. I'm like not doing so hot anymore. Lead Registeel, and we have Love Is My Oxygen this Suicune. I'm so proud of this nickname. But yeah, Registeel, I'm like looking at my screen like, man, what the fuck is Registeel gonna do? Because I'm worried the thing like booms on me turn 1, you know? Like, I don't know what this is gonna do to me at all. I know Registeel runs like Seismic Toss and like Thunder Wave and stuff. But, oh, by the way, I'm going through this live, by the way, because this game is super long. So, well, it's not like super long, but it's kind of long. So I don't want to like have to replay it twice. So I'm just going over this live. So yeah, lead Suicune on Registeel. This could be Thunder Wave. This could be like Explosion, Seismic Toss. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what it's gonna do. But I just go for a Calm Mind turn 1, daring it to like boom basically, right? I throw off a Surf here as they go for another Seismic Toss here, and then I'm like, here the Registeel's still healthy, so I don't think he's gonna boom yet. As they reveal Thunder Wave, so I know 2 moves on the Registeel now. This is just a standard defensive Suicune, by the way. Calm Mind, Rest, Sleep Talk, no, Calm Mind, Rest, Surf, Roar, yeah. So I Roar there to reveal more of the team here. As Blissey comes out, I'm forced to rest here because like 2 more Seismic Tosses will kill me. As Doug Trio comes in, Doug Trio cannot trap me in here. So one good thing here is that in the first 8 turns of the game, I've already revealed 5 of their mons, right? And I'm fighting some crazy ass stall team, which is like, yay, woohoo. Yeah. I want you to know that I have a Magneton in the back, and I have a Band Salamence. And the thing is, Band Salamence absolutely mows through this team once Skarmory goes down, right? But they have a Doug Trio, and yeah, they have a Doug Trio. So I have to be super careful about letting my Magneton get trapped by Doug Trio, because if the Doug Trio traps my Magneton and I'm unable to remove the Skarm, then my Band Salamence is basically useless, right? And I need Band Salamence and Suicune to work together to break through the stall, right? So here, I'm just like letting Suicune do whatever the hell it wants. I'm just gonna spam Calm Mind and Surf, right? Because the thing here is that every time I rest, the Skarmory is able to roar me out here. Yeah, every time I rest, the Skarmory roars me out, so I need to do as much damage as I can given my turns here, right? So I just spam Calm Mind here, trying to get some damage on the Milotic, but this is not very fruitful because the Milotic is going to stay at full with recovery, even if I'm at +6 special attack. So here I just rest preemptively so I can start burning sleep turns as Skarmory eventually roars me out. That's the idea here. They roar me out, and I go into Metagross. Now, revealing Suicune plus Metagross makes it super obvious that I have a Magneton in the back, right? So then now I'm like, crap. Skarmory comes back in here, and I go into Suicune here. I do not... Wait, do I go for Magneton? Okay, yeah, okay, okay, so if you go all the way back to, turn, what turn was it? Turn 6, right? Whenever this Skarmory comes out on my sleeping Suicune, they go into Doug Trio while my Suicune burns sleep turns, right? Because they were predicting my Magneton to come in. Like, from the Suicune lead, they're already guessing that I have a Magneton, right? So I'm like, really, like that turn 6, I'm like, okay, maybe, so like on turn 6 they tried to scout for the Magneton, I stayed in, right? So then on turn 16, I'm like, okay, maybe they think that I don't have a Magneton this time, right? And they go for a Spike on my Metagross, right? But I go into Magneton, and my Magneton gets trapped, and this is super bad because now I cannot remove the Skarmory. Yeah, I can't remove the Skarm now, and now my Magneton, and now my Salamence can't do anything, right? So then I'm basically down 2 Mons, right? Because Salamence isn't doing anything to this team without Skarm removed. So but I'm effectively down 2 Mons already, which is terrible. Yeah, so I go into Salamence now to see if I can like rock slide into the Skarmory, just chip it down a bit. But they make a fantastic play and go into Registeel here. I go into Suicune now because I'm predicting a Thunder Wave to come out. Yep. And then now I'm in a really shit spot because basically what happens here is I can never break through the combination of Milotic, Toxic, and Skarmory Roar. That's never a cycle that I can beat here. I go into Metagross here on the Toxic as Registeel comes out here on Mash. Do I just Earthquake here? Do I Earthquake or do I Mash here? I think it's Earthquake. Yeah, I just Earthquake here. Registeel goes for a counter here, which is fine. I do live that, thankfully. And then I'm able to pick off the Registeel with counter here because, no, they go Skarmory first. Okay. That's chill though, because I can just get some lefties recovery here. Oh no, they just go back in Registeel, huh? Okay. But now Registeel dies to Mash, and my opponent needs to stop switching around, or else my Metagross will get a Mash boost. And I do get a Mash boost there, which is very nice. However, Dugtrio comes in and traps me. Maybe I should have... Maybe I shouldn't have let my Metagross go down, but also the thing here is that one thing you have to note here is that the only way I'm gonna win this game is with the last Pokemon Suicune, right? Because obviously my Salamence isn't breaking through, my Metagross isn't breaking through, right? My lasts are Blissey and Claydol, by the way. So those guys aren't breaking through either because my Blissey's not Calm Mind. So I have to win with last mon Suicune. This way, if the Suicune's my last Pokemon, then the Skarmory cannot roar me out, and then I can break through the cycle of Toxic Milotic and Roar Skarmory, right? Because then I can just rest off the Toxics, and then I can figure out a way to break through with Surf there, whether that's with crits on Milotic or something else, right? That's the idea. So letting Metagross die there is fine, because eventually I was going to let Metagross die anyway, and I would rather get rid of the Registeel than have it rest up, you know, or something stupid like that. Milotic comes in on the Rock Slide again as I go into Blissey here. Yeah, so you can already see, like, if I had Salamence here, then I would be breaking through this team if the Skarmory was gone, but nope, now I'm just banking it all on last mon Suicune on, like, turn 20 or 30, you know? Like, it's really bad. Yeah, it's because, like, my brain is fried, right? Like, I'm tilted, I'm tired, and I just lost my Magneton. Like, I'm, like, not doing so good. I go into Claydol here because I'm like, okay, I have to force something here, right? I need to start chipping down the Skarm, so I make a double into Blissey here, as I'm just Seismic tossing down the Skarm. Like, this is just tough, you know? They protect here, I just go for another Seismic. At this point, it's just like me Seismic tossing the Skarm, right? Like, I have to start doing something, you know? Blissey comes in here, I double the Doll, which is a good play on my end, because, like, I'm potentially threatening Explosion here with my Doll, right? And if I explode on the Blissey, that's one less Pokemon that can, like, stall out Suicune in the endgame, right? I bring in Suicune here. This is a bit of a stupid thing I do, but I do get a nasty. I'm just doing this to force chip on Skarm. So I don't think actually that was not stupid. Actually, I got a nice crit there, which is good. So now here I'm just going for Rapid Spin here because I need to spin away these spikes. As my opponent reveals, they have Drill Peck, so this is really bad for me now, because Drill Peck Skarm is capable of 1v1ing Claydol. I can't just stand here forever. So I go back into Suicune here, start forcing more and more damage onto the Skarm, as they go into Milotic here, and then I'm like, oh, I go for Roar. I guess that's fine. Because here, I'm trying to reveal the last with that play, right? That was my idea. So I can see if Suicune can actually last on this or not. So here I go into this stupid cycle of trying to Calm Mind, except this Calm Mind, I'm just wasting PP at this point. This doesn't matter for my opponent at all. I'm just wasting my own PP because eventually I'll be forced to rest because of Roar, because of Toxic, I'll be forced to rest, and then they just roar me out with Skarm, right? So doing this Suicune Calm Mind thing gets me nowhere essentially, so this is not productive for me at all. But here I'm like fried. My brain is fucking fried. So it's like I'm just flailing around here hopelessly, hoping that like my opponent just wears down the rest of my Mons. I bring Blissey gets roared in here, which is good. Blissey is better than Claydol or Salamence coming in because now I can go for more Seismics, which is good. Yeah. So Skarmory is healing back up to full, unfortunately, which is quite tragic as Milotic comes in here. I think here I just Seismic a couple times until I decide to bring in Mence or something. Yeah. That's exactly what happens here. My opponent reveals that they're Calm Mind Blissey, which is a threat to my Suicune, right? Because if they boost up all the way as their last Mon, then my Suicune cannot break through without a crit. So I have to be really careful of last Mon Blissey now. But I am able to spin away the hazards as Blissey can never stay in, because if they lose Blissey, then Suicune becomes a huge threat, right? So I'm always threatening Boom with Suicune, so that's not that bad. And now I get to burn Sleep turns on Suicune here. Do I go for another Calm Mind loop here? Like, Calm Mind loop is not productive. I should go Blissey here. Yeah, cool. I do go Blissey. Okay. So basically the goal here is that I'm trying to wear my opponent down, even though that's really difficult to do. I'm trying to wear my opponent down to where my Suicune can win in the end, right? Give my Suicune the best chances it can get, that kind of thing. So I bring in Claydol here, right? And I'm like, okay, I can live in Ice Beam. I am bulky Claydol, right? I can live in Ice Beam here. So my idea there was I can Earthquake the Blissey first, and then I can potentially, I can Rapid Spin, and then keep the Blissey low as they bring in my Mence, right? And then that gives my Suicune a better chance. Another play I could have made is, Explode immediately with Claydol. But honestly, this doesn't, I mean, it kind of matters. But like, I mean, I think Earthquake there was objectively wrong, though. I think this is either Spin or Boom. I think Earthquake doesn't accomplish anything, because if they go Skarm, then, like, whatever, right? If I Earthquake into Blissey, then they can heal up all the way, and then I basically do nothing anyway. But if I Explode, then I take the Blissey down with me. If I Explode into Skarm, whatever, that's bad, but whatever, right? At least it's not as bad as, like, I mean, it was either Spin, right? Because if Spin covers both Blissey staying in and Spin covers Skarmory switching in, right? And then Earthquake doesn't cover either, right? Because Blissey just heals up this EQ damage, right? So either I Boom and kill the Blissey, or I Rapid Spin and get rid of the Spike, right? And I live Ice Beam either way, and then I can threaten Boom the next turn, right? Earthquake accomplishes nothing. Earthquake is just a shit play that I made out of Tilt. That's really bad. So that's one more Mon down, and now I can't blow up the Blissey. I bring in Mence here just to praying to God that my Rock Slides do something. I break, hoping that they greedily stay in with Blissey there. And at this point, I'm just flailing around, hoping that Salamence can like get insane crit value or something. As the last is revealed to be Claydol, and this is super bad for me, because Claydol, if this is an Explosion Claydol, which it should be, Refresh Claydol is not great. If they can never lose this, right? Because they always preserve Claydol, and then they force my Suicune to rest. They bring in Claydol, they Explode, and then they trap me with the Dugtrio. My opponent can never lose from this position, right? Like, it's just so doomed for me. I go into Blissey here, right? On Earthquake, and then I'm like, shit, okay. I can recover this damage off here, as my opponent booms on Blissey, though. And then, like, this is why I wanted to play this out, right? Because even though this is absolutely hopeless as soon as Claydol got revealed, right? Like, you never know when your opponent might, like, slip up or something like that, you know? And it's like, as soon as I saw that Boom, like, I went from, like, half asleep to, like, I was, like, you know, leaning forward, you know, that kind of thing. I was like, shit, this is doable, actually, if I play my Suicune perfectly. So Blissey dies, and then I have to bring in Salamence here, because I need Salamence to die, right? The best move for me to lock into is Rock Slide here, because potentially I can flinch everything down, but unfortunately, Banned Salamence does not dodge Toxic or get the flinch. If I get another flinch here, potentially I could get rid of the Milo, but no such luck. We're just gonna skip through these turns because I don't accomplish anything with Rock Slide here, and I just fucking die. Yeah. All right, now it's all in on Suicune here. Hold up. Yeah. So Salamence dies here, and now it's all up to Suicune to win this 1v4. How wonderful. But I feel like I can win this though, right? In my head, I can win this because there's no more boom, right? So the first step is to get to +6 with Suicune, because this way I give the Blissey the least amount of turns to be able to set it with Calm Mind, right? Thankfully, because I am Roar Suicune, thankfully because I have Roar, I am able to force the Blissey out here, right? Because no matter how many Calm Minds it gets, it can never beat me without a crit is the idea here. So I'm trying to get as many Calm Minds as I can before that I'm comfortable with before the toxic damage catches up to me. So now I'm what is it? I'm 3 Calm Minds ahead of my opponent here, right? I think. So here, this is when I click Rest as my opponent goes for another Calm Mind, which is a good play. And here I have 2 turns to wake up here. I have 2 turns that I have to burn before I wake up, and Thunderbolt does 24. So I know I can easily take 2 of these, right? So I'm just chilling here. I sleep for 1 more turn, and then I do have to eat another Thunderbolt here, but I should always Roar here, because Roar minimizes the risk of crits, right? Because if I Calm Mind here again, or if I Rest again trying to burn PP, then +2 Thunderbolt crit will probably just kill me. Dugtrio cannot stay in here as Milotic comes in. I just Surf just to be safe, right? Because if I Calm Mind on Dugtrio EQ, I just lose. There's no reason to risk that. Now I can start Calm Minding again here, which is really good for me, because now I can get to +6 here, and I'll always be like 4 to 5 Calm Minds ahead of that Blissey, right? So then their Thunderbolts will still do very negligible damage to me, and I just roar them out after they get to +1 Calm Mind, you know? +1 special attack. Now my Surf is not going to KO the Blissey, which is very bad for me. So I Rest here so I can stay ahead as much as I can on Thunderbolt. 9%. Thunderbolt is, I'm basically out healing Thunderbolt with my leftovers, which is really nice. Opponent Calm Minds here. I believe here, my opponent should always Soft Boil this turn, and I'm always going to Roar here. But however, because, wait, that wasn't my last sleep turn. Okay, so now they should always Soft Boiled here. But they choose not to here. So now I can Roar out the Blissey here, and now Blissey's in 2k range of Surf, which is very good for me. This is very good for me, right? My opponent sacks Skarmory because they know they have to, right? So that they give Blissey more, because once they force me to Rest, then Blissey can heal it back to full, right? I see here that my Surf also does not 2KO the Milotic, right? So I want my, ideally I pick off either the Blissey or the Dugtrio with Surf, and then I force Milo to enter a crit war, right? But here my opponent chokes again. They don't Surf with Milo, right? They don't recover with Milo, and because of that, now Milotic and Blissey are both in 2 KO range of Surf, which is huge, right? You always have, like, these guys get 3 KO'd, right? You have to spam Soft Boiled so that you stay above HP, right? You stay above the 2 KO range. But now that Dugtrio's in, right? And now Dugtrio is in, and now I basically force a kill, right? If they stay in with Dugtrio, I kill, and they can never win me without like a very huge Blissey like double crit, right, with Thunderbolt or something. Because something has to die here, right? Dugtrio gets 1 shot, Blissey gets 2 shot because it's at 80%, and Milotic gets 2 shot because it's 63%, right? My opponent had to spam Soft Boil there, but they didn't, and because of that, I'm in like an insanely good position here. Blissey comes in, assumably gets sacked here, right? You have to sack the Blissey so that you can potentially win with Milotic. But they go hard Milotic, and then now everything is in 1-shot range of Suicune here, right? So then, however, here I do have to Rest here because if I pick up like the kill on either Milotic or Blissey, then the Toxic will chip me into range of a Dugtrio Earthquake, so I have to Rest there. So my opponent makes a really good play and goes into Dugtrio here to fish for Earthquake crits, right? Because Earthquake crit is the only way you can win at this point because you sacked both Milotic and Blissey. I Surf here because I'm not dead to another Dugtrio. My opponent goes Blissey here in an attempt to survive the Surf here, but Surf, oh, they're trying to chip heal Blissey up, right. But I think that's, I feel like you just go hard Dugtrio on, I feel like you just go hard Dugtrio on that turn though. Let's go 2 turns back. Yeah, Earthquake there, right? And then I'm gonna wake up this turn, right? So I sack Milo. Earthquake is doing around 30%, right? So then you have to, because the thing is here, right? I'm gonna recover with leftovers to 56%, and the next turn I'll be at 60%, right? So there's a roll that I live a crit Earthquake if you go Blissey after this turn, right? So I think here you had to go Dugtrio and just pray you crit at this point, right? Because Blissey is not gonna live another Surf is the thing. Blissey will always lose this war unless Blissey avoids like every crit under the sun, right? So yeah, I think you were just supposed to pray for Dugtrio crit there. But yeah, like, I mean, Suicune just clutched it out, right? Like, shit, like Suicune's my goat, you know. I love Suicune. But yeah, that's just like, wow. I should have always lost this game the moment I let Magneton get trapped, which is like, but this is like, one, it's like, I mean, I just got very fortunate that my opponent choked this one away, right? Like, I should have always lost this. But it's like, yeah, I mean, you always gotta like play it out, right? Because you never know when your opponent could just like throw the game away, you know, that kind of thing. It's like, yeah. Like, game 2 was super unlucky for me, so I feel like, I don't know, I feel like game 2 could have been a lot closer if I didn't get hacked as much as I did, but it's like, I think the thing for me though is that if you go all the way, like, I have a Claydol, right, and my opponent has no Ghost type, right, so it's like, there's no reason for me to risk going Magneton into Skarmory super early like that, right, because I always have Claydol, so I can always spin away the spikes, right, like, there's no reason for me to ever risk Magneton getting trapped by Doug, there's no reason for me to ever do that. I just got impatient off tilt, right, and that's what caused me to be in this awful position, right, so it's like, I didn't automatically lose this game off matchup or anything. I automatically lost because I got impatient and I just let my win con get trapped, you know, that kind of thing. Like, say, Band Salamence tore apart this team once the Skarmory went down, right? Like, what switches into HP Flying? Nothing, right? Like, it's really, like, I'm not happy with how I played this. I'm very... I think I played my Suicune in the endgame super well, right? But it's like, I'm just frustrated with how I played my Magneton, right? Like, I'm tired and I'm tilted, right? So it's like, it's understandable, like human error and all that, but it's like, it's frustrating, you know. Like, I'll play better next week for sure, right? That's the hope, right? Yeah. Thank you for watching.